Hello, welcome to our final. You made it through final lecture of the semester, the summer semester. Thanks for all your great input on the message boards, your great assignments. A lot of you really put a lot of thought, effort, I thought, and work into your written assignments, which I appreciate. And some of you did a really great job on your video assignment. So really, very good first foray for me into online teaching. Just want to give you one little look into real life practical experience, what we're talking about. So this weekend, just enjoying a nice weekend, and one of my lead content people calls me to tell me that he'd been offered a job at a local television station for considerably more money. This is a guy that has a lot of projects on his plate, and so I spent the weekend and we'll spend the next couple of days deciding how these things get forged out and who's doing what, how we're going to replace him. One of those things, and I also had a case last week where one of my employees was offered a job from another school, a big time school, and we were able to keep that employee with just a little changing up of the salary and the job title on this second employee. The money wasn't even where we could possibly compete, talking about basically almost doubling his salary. So that allows you to go, hey, we know we're not keeping you, so how do we uh, move around this and get to the next step. And so that makes it a little bit easier. Today I wanted to finish up with something I like to do every time in my class, rules for life. Normally Chuck Hines, who is a local sports announcer, but also is a salesman, and he's been a sales manager. Normally he comes and always speaks to my class, and he'll give us his rules for life. So it gave me my idea to do rules for life, and then some other things that I wanted to throw in there. And so, first of all, when you look at different things that you shouldn't be saying, here's one: matriculate down the field. And I hear people use matriculate incorrectly all the time. And you know what matriculate means? And if we were in class, I would ask you that question. We're all in the same class, in the same room. And matriculate means to enroll in college. And so Hank Stram, who was the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, was mic'd up one time and he said, "Let's matriculate the ball down the field." And I always love this quote from a site from bloggers-to-be-named-later.com. Here's a phrase you hear a lot, and it's a rare instance where we can pinpoint the first use of a completely made-up definition to a pre-existing word that already had its own perfectly good definitions. In 1969, Kansas City Chiefs coach Hank Stram was caught on microphone telling his boys to just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys. He really could have said anything there. Time to anthropomorphize the graphics clippings, boys, and sports commentators would have started using the phrase. So you'll hear that a lot of times. Guys thinking they're using it correctly, saying, "Hey, yeah, so they're matriculating the ball down the field," when it's completely incorrect. It's not a term, and it's something that uh, has become part of everyday, common, day-to-day nomenclature, and so it shows you, don't just say something just because you hear people say it. Know what you're saying, why you're saying it, what it means, what it could be used for, those kind of things. This is a really a huge pet peeve for me. Lose and loose. Lose is the opposite of win, as you can see. Loose means not tight. Pretend the extra O is a hemorrhoid on the word. Hemorrhoids are never tight. Lose, loose. Remember that. Some of you put that in some of your wording on some things. Lose and loose. Other rules for life. Complaining is not a strategy. Just had employee come to me upset about something that was happening, and I said, "What is your solution?" So remember, if you're going to go to somebody with a complaint, have a solution to go with it. Crap happens. People quit. People quit in the middle of a project. People quit when you don't want them to quit. You saw we had the thread on the discussion board about things that have happened to us. Crap happens. You just got to make sure you step up and deal with it, just like that dog is there. Crap happened. That dog is taking care of it. How you handle adversity sometimes really is much more important than the actual adversity. You've all seen that horse on our campus, Will Rogers, on the horse Soap Suds. Will Rogers said, "You never get a second chance to make a first impression." Interestingly enough, this is actually more relevant when we're actually in class with each other, when I can talk to you for the first time, see you for the first time, shake your hand for the first time. This class is a little bit different, but it was interesting when I did see your videos, how you sometimes seemed different in person than I might have pictured you based on your writings and everything else. Huge rule for life. Just show up. When you have class in session, go to class. When you have real life class, when you have a job, show up. It's half the battle, just showing up. When you're there, be present, pay attention. Don't always be on your phone. Don't always be on your computer. Look at those dinosaurs. Oh crap, was that today? They missed the arc. Be present. Show up and be present are two huge things. I work with a lady by the name of Judy Henry. When I go and sit in her office to visit with her, her phone is down, face down on her desk. She is locked in. She is present. I know she is listening to me, and I know she is paying attention. Do your own thing. Don't do your parents' thing. Don't do your best friend's thing. Don't do your wife's thing or your husband thing or your girlfriend's thing or your boyfriend's thing. Do your thing. It's your life. You're the one that has to live it. You're the one that has to wake up every day and live your life. So that means your job and things that you go through. I had a person go do another job one time. And again, in athletics, when you work in athletics, it's a lifestyle. It's not a job. You've got to be locked in for a lot of hours, and you've got to work a lot of hours. You've got to work weekends and nights and other things. And this guy loved his job, but he said his wife was just upset with the number of hours he works. So he was going to go do a job where the hours more fit what his wife was looking for. Now, it's great. It's going to help for his wife, but eventually there's going to be a little bit of hostility there, right? You made me give up a job I really love for that. Ignore the haters. People are going to stab you in the back all the time. They're going to insult you behind your back. They're going to not be on board with you. Sometimes you see the guy stab the guy in the back. What happened to the good times? What happened to the happiness? What happened to everything? Especially if you're going to do something, you're going to produce something. You're going to be a film producer. You're going to be on air. You're going to be talent. People are not going to like you. When I first started doing play-by-play on the radio, the head coach that hired me, a guy named Larry Hayes, said, "Hey, people are going to hate you." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, because you're replacing a guy who did it for years and years and years, and people get accustomed to something." And he was right. People hated me. People ripped on me. People were ugly about me online, and eventually I kind of used that for me. I would email them if I had an email address and say, "Hey, why do I suck? Why do you think I suck?" And they would tell me, "Hey, because you do this," and I'd say, "Okay, I can take that. I can use that. I can fix that." Some things I couldn't fix. I just couldn't. If they just said, "You just suck because you suck," well, I can't do anything with that. It's easier now, but it still bothers you sometimes. I know principal past performance that there's going to be a group of an X number of you that are going to have critical evaluations of the class, and I want to be better, and I want the class to be better, and I will pay attention to those things. But you have to ignore the personal insults, the true hate. Rely on behavior. If you ever read Highlight Magazine, Goofus and Gallant, Goofus runs with the scissors pointing up. Gallant walks with the scissors pointing down. That's just, again, hyperbole to make the point. But you can tell how people are, and you can understand how people are. And generally, people don't change very much from something that they show you. They will show you the kind of people they are. Take somebody to dinner or to lunch or somewhere where they have to deal with service personnel. How do they treat the waiters? How do they treat the service staff? Those kind of things. You can learn a lot from people. Rely on their behavior to form their opinions sometimes. Be mindful. Again, it's hard in today's world. My daughter just sang a couple of weeks ago at Sugar Brown's, and she performed about 5 songs on her guitar and sang, and we're so busy videoing it and making sure we capture it that you sometimes miss the moment. look, the dog's there just enjoying the trees. The dog sees what's ahead. The owner there is thinking about work and what's on their phone and all these other things. Sometimes just take some time and be mindful and enjoy the ride, because only get one go round. This isn't a dress rehearsal. You're not getting another chance. Enjoy the ride and enjoy your life, and especially this time of your life when you really can do anything you want to do. And remember, for an opportunity, this isn't for everything, but say yes. Yes, especially in your career. If somebody gives you an opportunity, say yes, because remember, it's not our most important lesson I've got there on there, but it is a lesson. Wally Pipp and Lou Gehrig. You want to be Lou Gehrig. You want to be the guy or the lady that said yes and was able to come up and help out and step up when somebody needed something. And a lot of times that pays off in the long run. So take advantage of opportunities. If you want to do something, if you want to be in a business, go for it. Be that person, and and try to take advantage of those things. And you're a Texas Tech Red Raider, bear our banners far and wide. The worst thing about sometimes Texas Tech and Lubbock people is that we are so critical of ourselves. And you need to bear our banners. You need to say what a great place this is and how much you loved it, and all the things. Remember all the great things that this place was able to do for you and that you did for this place, and go out and make us proud too as graduates and representatives of Texas Tech. My former boss, Ken Hance, told me something that is still relevant. It's relevant all the time. We're all given 24 hours in a day, right? So there's always going to be somebody better looking than you. There's always going to be somebody that has more opportunities than you. There's always going to be somebody that has more money than you. There's always going to be somebody that drives a nicer car, wears nicer clothes. But we're all given 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. How you spend those 168 hours, how you spend those 24 hours, how you work your day, only you control that. The other people don't control that. So you can control how you spend your time and how you spend your day. All those things in there that we talked about. Time for yourself, time for your job. You can outwork anybody, because again, you can't give the rich guy, the better looking guy, doesn't get 180 hours a week. He gets 168 just like you do. So remember those things. How you choose to live those hours really sets you apart and really defines who you are and where you're going. So that is what makes somebody successful. And again, our own definition of success, it's different for everyone. So you want to be happy, and that's the most important thing. Test number 3, we'll have things about sales, things about marketing, a little bit about marketing, sales, PR, regulation, those things. So pay attention to those. Let's look at those real quick. Those areas of your class, and I'm going to try to. So you can see here on our class, everything. Here's the July 3rd lecture. The July 5th lecture is not up there, but it will be. And then everything that would be in here. So lectures, PowerPoints from for the third one. So you've got chapter 9 PowerPoints, chapter 10. There's 2 PowerPoints, and chapter 11. These lectures, all those things will be in there for your test number 3. So make sure you pay attention to that and get your final assignment number 5 turned in if you haven't. And really, by the time you watch this, all of your grades are likely to be in there, even your class participation grade. Hopefully, if it's not, it's just I'm falling behind on my part, and you'll know exactly what you got to make on the test for the grade you want. So thank you for a great summer session. Hope you are very safe in the rest of the summer. Remember, get all your stuff turned in, and again, do well on the test.